All right, so continuing to push through. I feel like we've had to kind of summarize everything. I would say, we've had a good start to our camp. We've stayed relatively healthy. I think part of that is, as we discussed before, our ramp-up type of camp schedule. And I thought, to sum up Saturday, I thought the defense played really well. I thought the D line, especially the top guys, played extremely well. We're still shuffling some different ideas around offensive line and some different combinations. And, we came in kind of throwing more, to really gauge the quarterbacks after Jackson especially. So I think we got some good work done. We have a long ways to go. We still have, probably 2 significant portal players with injuries that we expect to be significant pieces to the season. So look forward to getting them back fully, hopefully here shortly.
Playing with Micah Davis added to the roster, I know it's early, but what do you foresee his role being in that receiver room, and with what he was able to do on special teams at Utah State, do you foresee that happening here?
I do. I think that he'll have an impact on special teams. He was out there today already making a number of plays. I think he can play inside and outside as a receiver, unique skill set that way. And so we're very pleased to have him, and adds competition to that room and adds somebody that's, made some significant plays last year.
How's the mic'd helmet thing doing? And if you have technical difficulties, what's your contingency plan?
Yeah, you just fall back to signaling, which I guess to kind of explain it to you, an easy way to think of it is at 15 seconds, you're going to have all your old stuff anyway, because at 15 seconds, you got no communication. So you better have your whole system in place before of signaling as if this didn't exist. One, because that's going to happen at times, even for us offensively. And defensively, that may happen a number of times if the team's going slow. So you still need to have, in my opinion, your whole system that you had before.
Talked about you're still kind of shuffling around defensive line. What did you like, or did you see what you wanted to out of offensive line and whatever y'all were working on Saturday?
I think it was up and down. I thought there were some good things. I think that I know we are deeper than we've been at that position, to where, the first and second group can alternate. They can go, and you really don't have a drop off, and you see a lot of competition there and a couple guys that can play multiple spots. So I think that's in a really good place. They didn't play as well as consistent as I would like. Now again, they're going against, like I said, a pretty elite talent defensive line that played really well also Saturday, and that caused issues. And that was the goal of getting all these guys together. And so then maybe we could have one of those few defensive lines around the country that at times can really disrupt the game and take over a game.
Lane, this story's a few days old, but we haven't talked to you since then. There was a story that came out recently about coaches or everyone having to report injuries a couple hours before games, that kind of thing. Where do you stand on that?
I maybe should be more updated on that as far as where we are as a league. We talked about it, and it looked like it was coming this year, and so I might be a little behind on that. Maybe that's already out there that it is. Last I left, they were still kind of working on that being done. So I don't know that that's going to be in place, whether that's week 1 or whether that's for SEC games. I don't think it's that big a deal. There's 2 sides. Coaches like competitive advantage of not seeing injuries. But there's also the side, too, of coaches concerned that if the injuries are out there, that's less people trying to get to their players, to get inside information. So there's a lot of things I have opinions on and feel strongly about. This is not one.
Questions up top? Lane, what has Trey Harris kind of meant to this program? And, I mean, how much of a boost is it for you to kind of have him back for this offense?
Yeah, I think Trey, this may sound strange. If we were to vote on most improved players right now from last season, I would put Trey Harris in that group, which is saying a lot for, whatever, basically 1,000-yard receiver and with missing some games. So he's just really had a great mindset all offseason, and he came back. And sometimes guys come back and they're a little comfortable and they're just kind of going through the motions because they, know they're supposed to have this big season. He has really pushed himself out there. The Trey and Trey matchup, is really cool to see because they both are highly motivated, competitive individuals. And so it's really exciting to have him. I think this has a chance to be a really special year for him.
And you mentioned, rat poison and whatnot and all the expectations that come with this Ole Miss football program for this season. Another kind of form of that came out this morning when Ole Miss was ranked number 6 in the preseason AP poll. I think it's the highest since 1970. Do you kind of feel like there's more pressure on this program, like, since you've been here? Like, do you think there's the most pressure that there's been on this program since you've been here going into this season?
Yeah, I don't know that I necessarily feel that. It's going to sound like a coach because I think I apply more pressure on myself than any outside source. I really do. So, like you talk about last season, the two things that come to my mind are the 2 losses. I should have done a better job in those. I do get concerned, obviously. I talk extensively about it to players because I think that does come at them nonstop nowadays, because of phones. And so, yeah, that's a big concern of mine, and we talk about it all the time. As that continues to come, whether it's individual, this guy's supposed to be the number 2 receiver, or he's on this watch list and all that crap. That doesn't mean anything. Or another dangerous one is these mock drafts that are usually totally inaccurate. So, yeah, I'm trying to work on those things all the time with these guys because now there's more of it than we've ever had here, for sure. With the preseason rankings, with the position rankings, or with mock draft things, and we're supposed to have this many people drafted, which is way more than we've ever had. It's a lot to guard against.